Carey Gluck they've been playing.
Oh, most definitely. You can't get any better.
Here's Fairport starting attack. Steve Young, a young man who has scored 40 goals, 65 points. Had a tough story. We'll tell you about it later. Todd Kane, a little guy in the middle. And Jeff Koch, 27 goals, 49 points. Quick player. In midfield, Jacques Motti, the face-off midi who battled Krause. Tim Sudan, the big guy offensively, and Craig Fox, a real battler. On defense, Dave Nelson, the Empire State player, Johnny Wishop, Keith Valley, and the goalie, Mike Matkowski. We're underway now with our championship Class A. And taking the face-off, Monty in red against Krause in white. Let's watch that battle here. Great by Krause. He'll pick it up on the run. 67 goals for Andy Krause. Anything we should key on early here as we watch Krause bounce one, hit the pipe as it bounces out, and they'll chase it down. Anything, Carey, we should key on early as they retain possession, Garden City?
Well, we should see Andy Krause take those early shots right in the very beginning of the game and see if he's going to be able to maintain that kind of offense.
And here are the officials. Carey, for just a moment, we'll break in Craig Pratt, Ed Schreiber, Skip Spensieri, and Bruce Barties. Two gentlemen, Schreiber and Barties from Nassau County, the other gentleman from upstate. So now we watch now as Garden City will set up the attack. Garden City plays a zone defense, but the youngsters from Fairport, Larry Glenn's, they play a man-to-man defense. And how about Garden City in trying to stop their attack?
Well, Garden City is a very complete team, Barry. You know, they come up big on defense in the playoffs, where in the first part of the year, their offense carried them past everybody. They have a top defense. They have a top goalie in this kid Mangano. Their midfielders are outstanding. I'd say they're probably the most complete goal club in the whole county.
You know, we didn't get a chance to talk too much about the youngster in goal for Fairport, Mike Matkowski. He's a little guy, 5'8", 155 pounds, converted midi, and he's great in clearing. And that time they knocked it down in front as Del Olio, number 17, had a good opportunity.
What a great opportunity for Garden City, and they weren't able to capitalize on it. But yes, you're right. Mike Matkowski is really a fine goalkeeper. He's been playing for 3 years now. He used to play midfielder, as you said, which tells you that he's probably got some good speed. Very quick, good reflexes, and according to what we've heard, he really loves pressure. And if he loves pressure, he'll love this game.
Another opportunity as Caboti controlled the ball nicely. Now drops it off to Doyle, 25. McMahon, bounce shot, score! Jay McMahon on that second unit. We told you, offensively, they may be better than the first. His 32nd goal. And the heir apparent, Andy Krause, is making his presence felt known right now in this championship game.
That was a great shot that Jay McMahon just took, and we saw him put the Garden City team up by 1 goal. As the heir apparent, he certainly is going to have tough shoes to fill, and he'll certainly be able to do it, I think. The second unit, as we've said earlier, the second unit for Garden City has done a great job and has really given the Garden City the boost that it needs offensively.
That includes Rob Finity, 27, and Mike Doyle, 25. Garden City picking up the loose ball. Now they look to start up on their second opportunity. Paul Tully with Krause and Joe Griffith on this midfield unit.
I think it's early yet, but we're seeing Garden City take advantage of the face-offs, and there, number 22, Paul Tully scoring for Garden City, and quickly Fairport's going to call a timeout and try and regroup after a quick 2 goals in a minute and a half.
Paul Tully, who'll be going to Cornell, a kid who hasn't scored all that much this year, only 14 goals the entire season in 24 games. He's known as a great ground ball man. He's got speed, sweeping, and dodging ability, and he bounces this one home.
And this is right off of the face-off, Barry, and here you see Paul Tully beats his man outside and then just takes it right into the cage.
Krause set up a bit of a screen there. They may be watching him so closely, leaving the other middies open.
And he's wide open, and yes, he could be a decoy in this, but I think the key was the face-offs. I think the tempo is being set right now by Garden City. Andy Krause winning those first couple of face-offs to give Garden City the opportunity to go up 2 goals. They've had 2 possessions and 2 goals to show for it.
Recapping the scoring, McMahon for Garden City at 115, Tully at 132, and very similar to the B championship game, Elmont jumped in front early 2-0, and now it's Garden City, the home team, jumping in front. Here's the road to the top. That Hicksville game, they were trailing 6-3 with 6 minutes to go, rallied to win it. Farmingdale, they blew out. Calhoun, of course, they were scoreless at the half, had a big second half. Ward Melville, they were down 4-1, rallied to win it. In the Yorktown game, they dominated in the second half. Fairport's road to the top, a big win over Niagara Wheatfield, and then a tough game against Henninger. Game they trailed 4-0 and 5-2 with 9 minutes to go.
Boy, I'll tell you, Barry, you're lucky you didn't have to say Skinny Atlas again.
I didn't say it in the first game, but you said it. All right, Krause rakes it ahead. He'll have 3 in a row. He moves right down. to Cavoti, who could not handle it, but picks it up on the bounce. Very important possession here for Garden City. They've been a club they've been a club, Larry Glens, that up until the last game has struggled in the first half in recent games, but they came out with fire the other night.
I think that's the key. I think their defense kept them in when their offense wasn't working, and then once their offense gets the rhythm, then they take the lead.
The other night against Yorktown, it was a 2-2 game. Then they opened it up to 4-2, then 6-2. Here's McMahon again with that left-handed bounce shot. Saved by Matkowski, and he'll try to clear it up ahead. Fairport did have a chance to play on AstroTurf against Henniger. Played at Coyne Field, the championship up in the Syracuse area. The Western Championship. Good hard check by Finity, but let's see what the call will be. It's going to be a call against.
Push. They're giving a push against Garden City. It's a tough call to make, I'll tell you that, Barry, but they're giving it over to Fairport. Let's take a look at the
Finity 27.
I think it's a couple of good checks there myself, but the officials are giving it over to Fairport.
All right, a chance to identify Fairport. And let's watch them. The key guy, Sedan. Number 25, Melchione will play him. They play a zone. Let's talk about that Garden City zone, Larry Glens, if you will.
Well, Garden City zone plays, it's a Hofstra zone, with called the Hofstra zone, with a backer. It was one of the original zones in lacrosse that Howdy Myers developed years ago. And they play it so well, I think they frustrate their opponent.
There's a man who comes up with the loose ball so often, Keith Melchione. Outstanding soccer player. In fact, two of these boys on this club tried out for the Empire State soccer team earlier today.
Yeah, Keith Melchione and Mickey Cavoti, both soccer players for Garden City, had the Empire State tryout this morning. But I think they were excused, Barry. I think we let him, we didn't want to wear him down, or Doc would get really upset with us.
All right, Kerry Gluck involved with the Empire State team representing Long Island. And they had the Nassau Traps. He was out at the Suffolk Traps. Cavoti had that ball checked, and it's picked up by the goalie, and he'll clear it upfield. Fairport does a good job clearing, but they don't do a good job there as they overthrow the man they were looking for downfield, and it will be Garden City ball. So Garden City has maintained most of possession here in the early going. 3:20 gone, first quarter. In case you're just tuning in, Garden City, last year's finalist, the loser to West Jenny, 10-3 in the championship game, playing Fairport for the Class A championship. McMahon and Tully have given Garden City a 2-0 lead. Kraus shot stopped by the goalie, and Matkowski looking to clear it. Short clearing pass.
I think Andy Kraus has got to take a better shot than that. He's capable of taking good shots, and that will look like more like a pass to the goalie rather than a good shot.
And Garden City has possession. Again, they look for the transition here. That offense much sharper today on the passing. Bounce shot, and the stop as it was taken by normally the crease man, James Dell'Olio, the 5'11 senior. Very smart. He'll be going to West Point next year. They'll move it across here now. Number 34 on the second unit has got it. That's Jeff Koch. Instead, so their attack not really getting their hands on the ball. Here's Melchione, who has 5 assists this year, dropping it off to Cavoti. He'll be watched there by number 36, Dave Nelson. That's a big matchup, Kerry.
Yes, Dave Nelson's a great defender. Played for the Empire State team, and he was all county for Fairport up there. He's a good stick handler. He's really an excellent defenseman.
He'll be going to Cortland State. Now changes in the midfield. The second unit has come on. McMahon, Finity, and Doyle. McMahon, 23. Doyle, 25, also a lefty. The crank shot. It's blocked, and again, short clear, but it's upfield as they try to find Cook, 34. Cook helping out on those clears. He's got an excellent stick, big and strong, but Garden City takes it away. Finity to Doyle. Here's McMahon, throws it in front. And again, Matkowski will clear it across midfield. Melchione will chase after it, eludes him, and there's Kenny Mangano. A kid who hasn't gotten, Larry Glens, a whole lot of credit for the success that Garden City has had, but he has shown a lot of people the last couple of games that he is a goalie in big spots.
Well, in the beginning of the year, he really wasn't tested. Nobody could get the ball on the offensive half against Garden City. Towards the end here, when in the playoffs, it's been Kenny Mangano that's got him to this game.
Good point. And there's a check on Doyle. Good defensive play that time by Fairport. Number 25, Timmy Sedan. Sedan, excellent player, trying to battle for that ball. He'll be going to UMass next year. Taken away, and Garden City uses a long pole midfield unit effectively. Fairport does it. We'll see if that has an effect on the game. They battle for it on the far side. 36 is Nelson. Downfield they come. They've got a 2-on-1 opportunity here as they move in. Steve Young, number 11, 6'1" senior, had 2 goals against Henninger, an All-American last year. He's going to Maryland. They swing it behind. That's Jeff Koch with the bandage, and not only a bandage, but a brace on that right leg, Kerry, and we'll tell the folks about that right now.
Right, Jeff Koch injured that leg and was thought that perhaps he would never be able to walk again, and only, I think, through a lot of perseverance on his part is he really back into lacrosse. Great offensive player. He drives to the goal, and for a guy who was never thought of being able to walk, he's really remarkable.
There's Kenny Mangano.
Great save.
Big save, and of course Steve Young was the man who took the shot, and they not only had a hustle, they got the ball because they had the man closest to the ball. I think Rob Finnerty hustled after it. Garden City out shooting Fairport, gentlemen, 9-1 in the early going, leading 2-0.
Well, I think just the possession has indicated that Garden City is really going to control much of the game, and if Fairport's going to take advantage of those fast breaks, they better get better take good shots on Mangano.
They'll pick up that loose ball right over there. Ken Carson, 27, picked it up. Number 40 being checked is Kyle Miller. Gets the shot off, and they score.
That's the unbroken situation that they have to take advantage of. That I was just really referring to. They came up with the goal off of a broken situation, and that's what Fairport's been successful at during the course of this season. If we can see it on the replay,
I think it's 26 Tim Coyne who picked up the goal.
26 Chris Beckley.
Yeah, 26 is correct.
Time of the goal, 6:34.
Yeah, Tim Coyne is number 26, and here we'll see another angle on it as he comes in off of the broken play, the loose ball, and if Garden City has to control those ground balls to prevent those kind of mistakes.
Well, they give up the goal there. And it's 2-1. The time of that goal, give it to you in a moment. Krause again dominating the faceoffs as he wins that one. Watched by Sedan now. Coyne at 6:34 to make it 2-1. Garden City with the ball and the lead. That's knocked down, picked up again by Tully, and he'll fire, and it's broken up.
That was a nice save by Matkowski on the first shot, and it was good hustle by Tully to follow up on the rebound and get the second shot.
Paul Tully, an all-county football player, and Garden City has some excellent football players on this squad as well as lacrosse players. Last year, midseason, got a chance to play. We played baseball as a sophomore, didn't play lacrosse. Came on strong last year, late in the season as a junior, and has done a good job. Has speed. He can do a lot of things for you. So can this guy, Mickey Cavoti.
He can create problems also.
He does right now.
That was a great check. Number 36, I think that was Dave Nelson. Now you see why he was Empire State. Great check on Mickey Cavoti.
Nelson will be going to Cortland. Now they try to move it up. Sedan with the move downfield. Overthrows the man he was trying to get, Jeff Koch. Now we're talking about the injury to Jeff Koch, and you talk about him nearly not walking. Steve Young had quite a story involving him. The 6'1" senior will be going to Maryland. Had a cyst on his arm, Kerry. Had it removed after the lacrosse season last year, and it was thought that this young man would be recuperated, ready to go. Still can't shake hands properly. They did some damage to the radial nerve, apparently, and he's playing mostly lefty, although he's a natural righty.
Now that's unfortunate that he still has that numbness in his hands, but he certainly doesn't show it on the lacrosse field, I'll tell you, Barry.
He's riding right now on Melchione, number 11 in red, and keep an eye on him. Has 40 goals. An All-American last year. He'll be going to Maryland. Now they pick off the pass, and on the attack now, the youngsters from the Red Raiders of Fairport High School outside of Rochester.
It's easy to understand why you might think they're Cortland. Cortland's the Red Dragoons, if I'm not mistaken, and they wear red.
Cook, the look out in front as it was checked away. Melchione does such a good job playing on top of that box on that zone.
Melchione has really done a super job for Garden City through all the playoffs, Barry.
Great speed. Cavoti's shot, only not from outside, stopped by the goalie. It looks to clear. We told you he was a midi. Cook trying to chase that down, or rather Steve Young. It'll go out of bounds, and Garden City will get it back with 1:45 to go. Any trends, Kerry, you've seen early here?
Well, what I was going to say, Barry, is I think so far we've seen the Fairport have the ball and thrown the ball away about 3 or 4 times, and you can't do that against a good quality team like Garden City. You've got to really be able to play in control.
Kerry, how difficult is it to run and to play at the speed you have to do with what the brace that Koch is wearing on that right leg?
Oh man, that's got to be tough, especially in the heat right now too, down on the AstroTurf. That's got to be wearing on him.
What a job he did to rehabilitate himself. 6'1", 190-pound senior. Now Garden City with the ball. That's Cavoti, 14. Mickey Cavoti. Great year, great desire, great stick. He's only a junior. He'll be back next year. The look in front and a great score. as they come up with a goal, and now it's a 3-1 game. Garden City getting a goal from Joe Griffith. So the middies, who didn't do much scoring, Joe Griffith, his 9th goal of the year. He hasn't scored since midway through the season, and they're getting help from people they haven't gotten from before offensively, and it's 3-1.
Well, that shows the kind of balance that this team really has, Barry. That's why Garden City's so good, because anybody can hurt you. And here's Cavodi, and he has great vision. He sees everything from behind. He's their quarterback, as we said earlier, and he sees number 20, Joe Griffith, makes his cut from the midfield and puts the ball right where it should be, right on his shoulders.
That's something that he's done so effectively this year. Larry Glenn's, your club gave Garden City all they could handle, losing 7-6 in a game that Mangano came up big late in the game. I think he had 20 saves in that game. And what's the improvement in Kenny Mangano that you've seen since the beginning of the year? As we watch them go for another goal here and score. Oh, it was again that unit, the midfield unit, the second of the game for Paul Tully, his 16th of the year.
I think Kenny Mangano didn't get a chance to show what he had at the beginning of the year. Nobody was really putting any pressure on the cage. We got an opportunity to do it, and we put a lot of pressure on him. He came up big, especially in the end of the game.
Here we'll see the replay on Paul Tully, and there he is outside. He just goes one-on-one. He just blows by his defensive midfielder, takes it right to the cage, takes a nice bounce shot, and puts the ball right behind Mike Matkowski.
They're not employing a long pole unit, and that the midfielders have hurt him again today. Larry, have you noticed anything, and maybe you can key on what's happening in the midfield, because they are giving up a lot of good opportunities. The middies are just blowing right by him, especially on that second unit. Kenny Carson, Jeff Herbert, and Kyle Miller, 27, 30, and 40. Garden City again winning that face-off.
The key so far has got to be Krause handling these face-offs. I mean, I was led to believe that Monty was going to give him a go. It's been no contest so far.
Well, Monty is an excellent face-off man. He'll be going to Ithaca. He generally comes in for the face-offs and will leave. Here's Cavodi, checked as he tried to get it off. Del Olio couldn't get to it. They race for the ball, and it will be Garden City ball. So it's been all Garden City in this first quarter. They've had a ton of shots. They've scored on 4 of them, 14 shots to 2 for Fairport. 30 seconds to go in the first quarter, and now Fairport will make changes as they send Kyle Miller, Ken Carson, and Jeff Herbert into the lineup, their second midfield unit.
Garden City is really playing very well, Barry, through the early goings of this game, being in complete control.
Well, already Fairport has given up 4 goals. That's 1 less than they give up all game against other opponents. Of course, they came from behind against Henninger with a great second half effort. And they're going to have to come from behind here. Bounce shot, this time by Doyle, who took it with the right hand. He's normally a lefty, and it was stopped.
They're definitely testing him early here.
So Matkowski being tested early here. 3-year starter, good check by Doyle. Lost the ball. However, we're going to get a penalty on Doyle.
1 minute from behind.
Yeah, the official called that from a hit from behind, Barry, and so we're going to have a penalty against Garden City, giving Fairport the man up when play resumes.
Well, the Red Raiders haven't done too well man up. Overall 26%, which is not an impressive figure. And Garden City man down has been excellent, going about 89, 90%. So we'll have a timeout taken here. I believe, no, just an official timeout for a moment.
I'm surprised at the amount of shots Garden City's taken from outside. I think they want to test the goalie, see how he can handle it.
Again, this club did have some experience on the AstroTurf, and although coach said that the youngsters were happy to get away from Fairport and all of course the gloom and the funeral yesterday of the other students, that'll do it. The end of the quarter has come, so they'll have the man up situation when the second quarter resumes, and we'll be back. Garden City trying for a state championship. You're watching Championship High School Lacrosse on Cablevision.
And custom sticks in all school colors, located in Elmont. Call 437-0095. Take your next shot with Olympic Den.
Garden City with 2 goals by Tully, 1 by McMahon, and they have a 4-1 lead. Joe Griffith also adding a goal as we begin the second quarter. Garden City a man-up carry.
Fairport's playing his man up right now, Barry, and it's a good opportunity for them. They've got to slow down the momentum that Garden City has had. Plus, they've got to take away some possession. Garden City was in possession almost 8 minutes or 9 minutes of that whole first period, and Fairport's got to get control of the ball.
They swing it around against this defense. 6 against 5. They have the man-up situation here. Young behind to Koch. Back out on top. Sedan, 25. Send it off the stick of Young, off of his stick, out of bounds. He lost it, and it goes back over to Garden City.
I think if that was a good pass, Koch would have had a good he would have had a good opportunity. I believe that was Steve Young, I'm sorry, from coming from behind, but it wasn't a good pass, and that was what was crucial.
There you can see the scoring for the first quarter. Garden City dominating. They had a lot of shot edge, 14-2, I believe, in the first quarter. And, of course, they lead 4-1. Man still in the box for Garden City, and he'll be releasing shortly. It's Dave Dillmeyer, plays long pole midfield. We'll watch the clear here, and Krause is going to run it upfield.
That's the best man down clear you can have. Give it to Andy Krause and have him clear it.
All-American going to the University of Virginia, where his brother Steve was a star. Penalty is now over as they send a man back to late call. Coming up here, the shot, where's the ball, says the goalie. He couldn't find it, Matkowski, and we have a flag drop.
It's interesting as we look at Doc Doherty, he sees what's going to happen now as his team goes man up. But it's interesting, Andy Krause brought the ball down, Barry. He thought he stepped in the box. He didn't. And Coach Doherty on the sideline is saying, you got to go down further. You aren't not in the box yet. They couldn't get Dillmeyer out of or their offensive player out of the box. We'll have the penalty against Fairport, and as we said, Garden City will be man up for a full minute, I believe.
I called Doc's house this morning, spoke to his wife Linda, and said, oh, of course the whole family was coming, Sean and Shannon and Blaine. I said, well, where's Doc? It was 9 o'clock in the morning. They went over to Garden City to do a little driver ed work. He's a nervous wreck. Got to get him out of the house.
Oh, heck, I hate to be in the car with him. He was a nervous wreck.
Well, he wasn't driving, fortunately. At any rate, Doc Doherty, what a record he's accomplished. 200 wins, 52 losses, had number 200 the other night against Yorktown. Only, I think, Joel Silvestri is the only other man to win more than 200 games at Garden City. Won 202. Man up now. Let's see how they play it. What kind of set are they in, Kerry?
They're in a regular 3-3 right now. Everybody's in front of the cage, which is a good offense right now for Garden City against this man-down defense to see what they do man-down.
Garden City, an excellent man-up team. They'll work it out. 8:48 to go. Here's Finity.
Now they have their cutters, and now they go into a 2-3-1, it looks like, with one man up top.
Cavoti dropping it back out. The crank shot by McMahon. He thought he had that one. Nice recovery by Sullivan. Out to Krause, fires high, misses the cage, but they had a backer there, as chasing it behind was McMahon, 23. Still man up in effect. 8:33 to go, second quarter.
They moved the ball nice on that.
Yeah, they did. Garden City leading 4-1. That's Sullivan, Chris Sullivan, the junior. Interestingly enough, we'll talk about it in a moment, Garden City, a very young club to get here. A lot of people didn't figure losing 11 of 13 of their key players that they'd be back this year, Gary.
And I think Doc is probably the most surprised.
Checked away as it rolls toward midfield. They'll battle. Will it go out of bounds? Yes, and it'll still be Garden City ball.
Garden City ball.
And I think the penalty is still in effect.
Yeah, just for a few more seconds, Barry. Garden City will be man up, I think, for about number 7 seconds.
And that man, when he comes back on, will be number 46, Craig Fox, the enforcer in the midfield. Big, strong football player. Here's Finity, number 27, Rob Finity, 5'10" junior. Excellent speed. Over to Krause. They move it around quickly. Excellent sticks.
Yeah, you notice the good stick work. Nice look.
Bounce shot by Finity wide. Cavoti backing.
Finity, the shot.
And the ball still held by Garden City. 7:54 to go. Still a man up. Now they throw it away.
No, that's because we talked about their good stick work.
Yeah, it's nice to see they're human sometimes.
You played that very, very tough, as I mentioned, Larry Glenn's your Lynbrook club, and for want of a goal here or there and an opportunity against Elmont to win that game, you would have been playing for a state championship. But you had a super season. I want to congratulate you and the rest of the young men over at Lynbrook. You really gave lacrosse fans quite an exciting year.
Thank you very much, Barry. It was a great season for us.
Larry Glenn's coach at Lynbrook High School and also the head of the Coaches Association here in Nassau County. Kerry, how about the ride right now?
Well, with Sea Garden City, they generally go into a zone ride, which is what they're doing, and they're going to jump at the midfield from the midfield area, and they create a turnover, but the ball went off of one of the Garden City players, and Fairport will take possession at the midfield.
Larry Glenn's, they've done a good job on Sedan, the kid from who's going to UMass, who's their best player, number 25, and he really has not been effective so far in this game.
I think that's the key. They have defensemen and defensive middies that are all playing solid ball for them.
And they've got that speed, something again that Doc Doherty felt was his biggest asset coming into this year. Speaking of speed, they've got it now. Here's Chris Sullivan down the right wing. They'll move it behind to Cavote, 14. Cavote being watched by Dave Nelson, 36. Now getting some help from number 25 over there, Sedan. They play man-to-man defense.
They're not putting any pressure on them.
Garden City leading 4-1 in command right here. That's Delolio not in the crease now as they run Krause to the crease cutting in. Good move by Sullivan. Gets the shot off and scores.
Great move. That was a great move by Chris Sullivan to come around, and you saw him just drop the stick, and he put that in. And that's why he's called the snake, Barry. He worms his way around that crease area. He fit in between two defenders. What a great shot. That was really, really excellently done by Garden City.
Chris Sullivan, 2 goals against Yorktown and 1 right here.
And here we see it on the replay. Chris Sullivan behind the cage, and he just beats the man on the roll and just comes between the 2 defenders, drops that stick, puts the shot low on Mike Matkowski.
Well, they can beat you a lot of different ways, can't you? They can beat you one-on-one. They move the ball. They stop you on defense. They're quite a complete ball club.
Very well balanced. I think that's the key. They're balanced. They can score an attack. They can score midfield. And even their long pole middies can score.
And they win every faceoff.
And that helps as Mr. Krause continues to dominate. At one stretch in the playoffs, gentlemen, he had won something like 44 of 50 faceoffs. And now we get a stoppage in play.
This is
and
a referee's timeout.
I'm going to check a piece of equipment here, maybe. Or we're going to check a ball. There are a couple of balls laying loose behind the goal. Oh, we have a moment, speaking of referees, Kerry and Larry Glenza. I know we both would like to congratulate John Goldsmith, who's retiring, the veteran official, and he has been the interpreter for lacrosse in New York State on the rules for so many years. And Larry, you have, of course, have coached so many games that he's played. A true gentleman who went to Harvard. What an addition he's been to lacrosse, and I know that you wish him well.
I know he's going to continue on as interpreter because he's been doing it for so long. It'd be such a loss there. But I think unless they go to 3 or 4 referees, he has to stay off the field. He's not getting up the field as fast as he used to.
But John has done so much for lacrosse, and we want to congratulate him. Also, Jim Condon retiring, New York State chairman, Nassau County chairman for so many years, the Uniondale athletic director, and his lovely wife Mary. Want to wish them the best. And the shot taken by Krause, but we had a call made against Garden City.
I think they called Andy Krause for warding off there, Barry, which you don't see that too often. But that'll turn the ball over to Fairport. And they're trailing 5-1 with 5:53 to go in the half. And I think they've got to get some offense going here. Garden City's controlled the ball this whole second period. I don't think Fairport's really had the ball except for that man-up situation in the very beginning, and that's been it in terms of their offense.
Paul Tully has scored 2 of the Garden City goals, another by Rob Griffith, 2 of the guys who don't normally score, but they have come up with big goals. Fairport has not looked sharp, not controlled the ball at all here.
They're having a tough time against this Garden City ride, too.
Deep ride.
Yep, and now they finally got it. Ken Carson on that second midfield unit over to number 16. That's Todd Kane, who'll be going to Clarkson. Very quick, maybe their quickest little guy. Here's Steve Young, kid with the bad arm we talked about. Had that cyst removed on that right arm. Good job cutting off Cope. And the defense comes up with another one. Number 34 moving it upfield is Ted Shirley. Plays on that long pole midfield unit, 6'2" junior. We'll be watching. And now he'll go off. Good defensive job. Ball lost out of bounds, so Fairport will get it back, gentlemen. 4:53 to go, and Fairport, a club that averages over 11 goals a game, having trouble really offensively getting anything going. As you see the Garden City club getting together. Doc Doherty a little bit upset and has a word or two for a couple of his players. He's a little upset the way they're handling the ball, I guess.
Well, I'm sure he's saying to us, hey, look, Shirley does a great job bringing the ball over the field. We get it to our attackmen, and you guys go and lose it. You know, what's the story? We're not working out there to have you guys lose it. We want you to control it. So once you get it, settle the ball down. Let's not throw it away.
I think they double-teamed him as they were changing midfielders.
Larry Glenz and Kerry Gluck, you saw what a tremendous comeback Garden City had against Ward Melville. And one of the reasons they had that comeback and were able to come back was because Lady Luck was on their side. Watch the number of pipes Ward Melville hits in this sequence.
1
against Kenny Mangano.
2 3. They hit more pipes than they got goals. There's another one.
Joe Cuso sees every one of those in his sleep. And there's another one. Dennis Goldstein
Look at
hitting
that
the
shot.
pipe.
Beautiful up. You think that'd be right in the corner there.
And they couldn't believe it. Patriots couldn't believe it. But Garden City is showing it was no fluke as they represent Long Island, trying Larry Glenn's to win the first championship for Long Island Club since 1979 when Sachem did it. Almont won the first championship in '77. Long Island teams won the first 3 years, but it's been a drought since then.
Well, we've always believed that we have more good teams in Nassau County and Suffolk County than they have upstate. But it seems like they've had the best one, especially in West Genesee, over the years here. I think Nassau County is pretty hungry for one right now, though.
You know, this year is similar to hockey. When the Edmonton Oilers were knocked out of the Stanley Cup playoffs this year, everybody said, well, it's open field. Anybody could win. They had dominated along with West Jenny, and with Yorktown losing also to Garden City, it really is up for a new champion, and it's good for the sport.
No, definitely. It's always good to get new people as champions. It is invigorating and really excites the crowds.
Well, they can't handle the ball that time, Fairport, as they were trying to set it up something offensively. The ball goes out of bounds and back over to Garden City. So their play on the ground, I don't know, their sticks haven't been very sharp, Larry Glenn's.
No, they look like they're off their game right now, but I tell you, they'll be playing with a lot of motion in the second half. I'd be careful not to let them get up.
That's a very good point. Of course, they trailed or rather Henninger by a score of 4-0 and 5-2 going into the final 9 minutes of play. Rallied with great intensity. They started a ride with tremendous intensity and came up with some loose balls. Now they're on the attack here, but good check. Leader 40 along with 20 Griffith. Kraus trying to come up with that loose ball.
I tell you, Garden City, I think, is really swarming on the loose balls, and I think that's been very effective, and that's been part of the reason why they're controlling the game. They are really hungry for those loose balls.
Here's Cavodi. He'll work behind. Lost the ball. He was not checked, and Matkowski will try to clear it. Now they move it downfield. Here's Young. He can move. First time he's moved in an unsettled situation and throws it away. And again, you got to wonder what's happened to Fairport offensively, because Steve Young, one of their best players, sure-handed, and he just made a bad pass there.
And he was an All-American last year, Barry, Steve Young. And you know, those are the kind of mistakes that we said earlier. You can't throw the ball away.
Let me ask you, Larry Glentz, he threw that right-handed. That's the same hand that has given him trouble. Do you think it might be that hand that he can't control the stick as well, right-handed?
There's a possibility, but I think he probably has adjusted to how much his arm moves on there, and I think he might have just thrown a bad pass.
All right, had the damage with his radial nerve. Melchione trying to clear it upfield. This Garden City defense has been really unheralded, but done the job. Nice pass. Here's Finity moving in. Good check from behind that time by number 30 on the defense. Coming up with the play, Jeff Herbert. Good play by the midi, getting back to help.
That was great. I think he might have saved a goal opportunity for Garden City, Jeff Hebert.
3:12 to go. Second quarter, Garden City leading 5-1. Barry Landers along with Carrie Gluck and Larry Glentz bringing you all the action. Hope you're enjoying it wherever you're watching in Nassau, Suffolk, or upstate. Doyle controlling the ball nicely. Try to dump it off for the crease man, Tommy Duran, number 16. And he was checked without possession, so they'll just retain possession here. Illegal check.
And again, we're seeing Garden City really be in control of the tempo of the game, Barry. They're controlling the offense. They're working the ball very well. Their sticks are looking sharp. And I think the only thing right now that I think Doc would like them to do is get a couple of more goals up. You know, right now 5-1, they're in the lead, but they're not, you know, they're not putting away for Fairport, and they could.
You know, it's almost to that same situation that Ward Melville totally dominated Garden City in that Long Island championship game when they hit the pipes that we saw. They could have been leading 7 or 8-1 and only had a 4-1 lead. Let's join the huddle now of the visitors from Fairport. Our check at the Garden City huddle, and let's see what's going on.
Swing that wing up, all right? Move the ball around the horn, all right? Hey, if you can take him up top, you take him to the cage. They slide from the crease, dump it right to the crease attack. But Duran, don't get caught sleeping. Come on, let's put the ball in the cage.
There was Doc Doherty, and of course he was getting some help from his assistant coach there.
Doug Dyer, yeah. Doug Dyer used to coach Levittown Memorial years ago. He's been Doc's assistant for a while, and he's a big plus for their program.
You know, Larry Glentz, you don't get there by yourself, and Doc Doherty certainly is a guy that would share the limelight with his assistants, and the great record he's had, 200 wins, 52 losses. The last 2 years, 47-2. And they've had great players and a great tradition at Garden City. They won the Long Island Championship 45, 1946, 48, then had a drought, 66, then another drought till 1985, and now they've won 2 Long Island championships and going for the state title.
Garden City's got great coaching up and down and a great program, starting from their little leagues all the way to the top. They actually have a good athletic program in the entire school.
Outstanding football, good wrestling, and Bob Allen, the athletic director over there. 2:45 to go. Kraus bouncing one for a score. Oh, he made that roll, dodged, and bounced it in with that hard shot. He's equally good righty and lefty, and when they lull you to sleep, boom, they come back. And I guess Garden City loved that one.
Oh, yeah. Well, and Andy Kraus looked real good on that. He drove to it. He swept to his right. He roll dodged back, as we'll see on the replay. And here you can see, here's his roll dodge. And he takes his shot, bounce shot lefty, and right by Mike Markowski. And that was a nice shot again. Andy Kraus taking the bounce shot. And that's what you got to do to beat the goalies on the AstroTurf.
68th goal for Kraus, first of this game. The young man, the 2-time All-American, will be going to Virginia. He's totally dominated faceoffs against Jacques Monty, number 10. And Kraus just scoops it right back, right through his legs.
What a player.
Andy Kraus. Larry, you've coached, of course, for several years here in Nassau. Do you remember his brother Steve when he played?
I do, yeah. I remember him playing for Virginia, too. He was another dominant faceoff man. There we go.
Oh, what a look in front, and the man scoring, number 16, Tommy Durant.
And that's just what Coach Dyer was saying in the huddle, that they're going to look to slide off the crease. Durant, don't fall asleep. And there you saw the feed right into Durant on the crease, and a nice easy goal. It was a beautiful shot by Tommy Durant also, we might add.
He hadn't scored in a long while. Tommy Durant, his 18th of the year. Watch the face-off. Kraus just totally dominates this face-off, and
right
boom, before you know it, it's in the net.
Right through his legs. You saw that, and of course his wingman sweeps it right up. And here we come. And here's the feed right into Durant, right in on the crease. Beautiful pass. The crease defenseman was not in great position. He really was out of position, and he gave the opening to Durant.
Picture perfect. This one raked back, and finally they come up with it. Fairport, as they're getting blown out here, 7-1. And now they'll pick it up. So Long Island looking for that first championship, taken away on the ground ball. Another unsettled situation. Here's Cavoti. Oh,
nice save by Markowski.
Indeed it was. Goes out of bounds, and the ball goes back over to Fairport. Let's see if they can turn that to their advantage, because it's been all Garden City, but their goalie came up with a big save there.
That was a beauty.
All right, gentlemen, it's been all Garden City here. 7-1 they lead Fairport. Fairport, of course, beat Henninger. Henninger was the team that upset West Jenny in overtime. And everyone had expected West Jenny to come back down here to Hofstra 2 years ago, Kerry Gluck, on a day that was about 100 degrees out. Yorktown snapped their 93-game winning streak that kept the Sewantica winning streak intact here on this very field. And I remember that game. We had the pleasure of televising it on the Long Island Sports Network, and throughout the state it was some game.
That was a great game.
Here we go now.
Number 30.
On the attack, Fairport, but they're passing again sharp. They seem to have trouble making the passes here, especially the AstroTurf has been bothering him. Oh, good move by Young, and he's blocked by the defender as he tried to get the shot off.
Steve Young, the shot, number 11.
And limping upfield is the man who blocked it. I think it was Dillmeyer, 11. Let's see. Yep. Dave Dillmeyer, number 11, who has 5 goals this year as a long pole midi.
That tells you that Doc likes to get his long pole defenseman in on the offense. And he said it. If they come up with the ball, he has no problem with them taking the ball down and getting the shot. And Dillmeyer has 5. Pat McElroy has 2. So they've got 7 goals just on the defensive midfield.
He's a little guy, Dillmeyer, 5'7", 150-pounder. Speed, did a good job against Farmingdale when they bounced back from a near disastrous game against Hicksville.
He may be small, Barry, but I'll tell you, he's a tough defender.
That's one of the things about this game of lacrosse. Size is not the essential. As we watch some moves at midfield by Sedan, finally getting away from some traffic. Sedan moving in. Nice move. Gets a shot off and scores. Well, we saw the kind of effort that makes him Mr. Exciting. Timmy Sedan will be going to UMass next year. The best player, dodging, excellent ability of balance to stay on his feet there, and he scores to make it a 7-2 game.
And not only that, Barry, twice during the course of that move to the goal, he changed the stick from one hand to the other to protect the stick from the defenseman. He knew where the defenseman was, and he changed the stick to the opposite hand. And here we'll see it. Here he puts the stick in his right hand, and here he roll dodges in the left hand, brings it back again to the right hand for his shot. And he does a nice job. He goes to the cage, takes again a bounce shot and was successful.
59th goal of the year for Sedan. Let's join the huddle of Fairport. Here's Randy Garrett.
Grace, you got to have the hustle. Come on! You got to catch the ball. You can't catch every other one. Pick it up. Play some defense. Grace, that last time down there, we just came in and talked about defense. It was ridiculous. John, don't you slide off your man from that far away. Let's go. Let's go, Red. Come on, Red. 1, 2, 3. Let's go, Red.
Now there we heard Randy Garrett. He's saying, you know, we can't throw the ball away, Barry. It's just what we've been saying. They've been throwing the ball away every other time they come down, and they can't do that. And also he's concerned about John Winship, I believe. He's been sliding a little bit too early, and he's letting his crease man giving him too much room, and that's how Durant scored that last goal for Garden City.
Crease defense is an awfully tough spot. Winship is a sophomore. He's a Division I prospect in both sports, but against the kind of attack, sophisticated attack that Garden City has, that's a tough job, Larry Glens.
Yeah, playing the crease is a tough job. If your man gets just a little bit of a break on you, the way these feeders are, he's got a good shot at the goal.
What about Krause and why he's so successful, Larry, as he comes up with this one?
I can't explain why he wins every face-off. You know? It's just he seems to be able to put the ball anywhere he wants it. He knows where his wings are all the time. If they cover his wings, he'll take it himself.
Larry, he did right then, Barry. We saw him. He raked it himself on that last face-off rather than try and bring it back through his legs.
All right, as they work it here, Sullivan, who's come up big the last couple of games, had a goal here today, 2 against Yorktown, checked as he lost the ball, and Matkowski looks to clear it. Very important with 24 seconds to go in the quarter. Should Fairport get a goal here, and they have an unsettled situation. They had Coke downfield. This could change the complexion of the game. Certainly give them life for the second half. They trailed by 5, 13 seconds to go. Here's Sedan. They'll try to isolate him. Look at him move through a couple of guys. Finally gets a hard hit and coughed it up. And that should do it for the quarter. We get 3 seconds, 2, 1, and the half is over, as Garden City will go to the half with a 7-2 lead.
Well, Garden City, I think, for the first half, Barry, has played an excellent first half. They look sharp. Their passing is sharp. Their shooting is right on goal. I think they really look like they're in control of the game.
So that's the story. Our colleague Carl Reuter returns with a very interesting halftime guest from Adelphi University, Professor Greg Gutman. And he'll be back in just a moment. You're watching Championship Lacrosse on Cablevision. Hi, everybody. I'm Barry Landers with Jerry McDougall, president of Apple Bank. Jerry's been a great year for the Long Island Sports Network and a great year for Apple Bank. 5 locations on Long Island. Where are they in Nassau County?
We're on Northern Boulevard in Manhasset, Carmen's Road in Massapequa, and on Jericho Turnpike in Syosset.
And how about Suffolk?
In Suffolk, we're on Pulaski Road in Green Lawn, and in Smithtown, we're located on Route 111 near Jericho Turnpike.
Apple Bank for savings with 5 convenient locations.
You know, it's hard work keeping in shape, but it's important to me to be the best that I can be and look the best that I can look. I don't go through all this to impress other people. I do it because I care about me. I care about my body and my health, but most importantly, I care about feeling good about myself. That's why I would never, ever take illegal drugs. You know, I've seen some people who smoke marijuana, and they seem to lose pride in their appearance. They lose their motivation to achieve. And let's face it, what goes in your body eventually shows up on the outside. The bottom line is stay away from drugs, but do it because you care about yourself.
Brought to you by the New York State Public High School Athletic Association.
Carl Reuter here at Hofstra University. It's halftime with Garden City on top by a score of 7-2 over Fairport. My guest is Professor Greg Gutman. He's from Adelphi University. And Greg, welcome to the telecast. And
thank you.
We here at Cablevision would really like to thank Adelphi. They've been one of our sponsors for 4 years. And I guess Adelphi really liking to get involved with the Long Island people, the youth, right here on Long Island. And one of your teams, Garden City, right in the background here.
The neighbors are doing well today, which is great. I think it's always been a commitment by Adelphi University, the faculty, the administration, that academics, of course, are vital, and that's what college is about. but the physical fitness concept, which is important to the United States, the spirit, the body, the whole bit is important, and this is what we're really supporting. It's really saying, hey, Long Island, we're concerned, and this is total education, and we support the high school teams.
Well, we're talking about the high school people here, obviously Garden City right in the backyard, as I said, of Adelphi. What is the direction right now of Adelphi University? We're in the mid-'80s. We're heading towards 1990, believe it or not. Where is Adelphi going?
Adelphi, first of all, remember, has come a long way, 1896. And I think we're doing a heck of a lot of things great. In other words, we are really a university of 11,000 people right in the small Garden City. We have over 4 campuses throughout, including railroad trains that take commuters back and forth while they can get their degree. We have these private cars on the railroad. So it's been always a very innovative institution for all these years. And again, professional schools of nursing, psychology, teaching, University College for Adults, the arts and sciences, advanced psychology, all those. And we've been doing and educating people. Probably half and half our students are undergrads and half are graduates. But as far as where we're going with the new leadership of President Diamandopoulos, we're really rethinking and redefining what education is for today and for the 21st century. It really, right now, the faculty is developing an entire new curriculum that should be very exciting and meaningful to all young people and, of course, the adults that are coming back to school. A very strong liberal arts focus with, of course, a strong professional background.
We're going to be back. I'm going to talk more with Professor Gutman, more about Adelphi University, more about community backing and the support of Garden City when we come back from this time out. You're watching High School Championship Lacrosse on Cablevision.
How expensive is your free checking? You're looking at checking that's really free. That's right. Here at Apple Bank, there are no check charges and no monthly fees, nothing. Plus, you get 5.25% interest on any balance over $700. So come in and get the free checking that you and your money deserve.
Apple Bank for Savings. We're good for you.
Jane makes her parents very proud. She's on the honor roll and plans to go to college. Starred in her class's last play. She plays clarinet in the school orchestra. Yes, Jane knows about drugs. In a way, she's lucky. She knows better. Some people don't realize that marijuana and driving don't mix. But Jane's brother reminds her every day that some trips last forever.
Brought to you by the New York State Public High School Athletic Association.
Carl Reuter back here at Hofstra. Of course, I'm speaking with Professor Greg Gutman of Adelphi University, Adelphi being one of our sponsors. And Greg, you mentioned Dr. Diamandopoulos, the new president over at Adelphi. He really himself is involved with communities. He's going to go around and speak at a lot of commencement ceremonies towards the end of the month. One in particular, Garden City, but not because Garden City is right across the street, the high school, but because he wants to be involved with Long Island and the communities.
I think that's part of being a president, and I know certainly Dr. Diamandopoulos has recognized the idea of a commitment to the entire community and is out there doing. He's an activist president, not one who sits besides the desk. And he will be speaking to the commencement exercise at Garden City. And on behalf of the faculty and the university, I want to wish the graduates, of course, much success, and the families, and not only to Garden City High, but to all the high schools on Long Island.
And hopefully they'll attend Adelphi University.
We hope so, or at least come out and see what we're all about.
Okay, if they do want to attend Adelphi University, if they wanted to take some courses, they wanted applications for studies, can they write, can they call, who do they go to?
I'd even speak to them myself if they want to
that's
come.
a nice guy.
But the best way, of course, is Adelphi University, Garden City, New York, 11530. And the famous telephone number is 516-663-1182 or 294-8700.
Well, you're great with remembering numbers, aren't you?
I try hard.
All right, I want to get this in before we have to go, but Greg is also a professor of business at Adelphi University, teaching some summer courses right now.
Yes,
so
doing my summer thing, right.
12-year job. Not 12-year, 12 months a year.
Well, at least
And you've been there over 12 years.
At least that's correct.
Yeah.
No, it's exciting. It's a place that keeps my spirit going. It's exciting education. Education doesn't have to be boring. I really enjoy it. I think it's suggested in the classroom with so many of my colleagues, when you're enjoying what you're doing, it comes out, and that makes for better education.
Well, an outgoing guy. I'm sure your classes aren't boring. Greg, thanks for coming by.
Thank you.
Greg Gutman from Adelphi University has been my guest. Barry and Carrie will be back with the second half
their face-off following this timeout. You're watching High School Championship Lacrosse on Cablevision.
Jerry, here's a free pass to our next game.
Thanks, Barry, and here's something free for you, a free Apple Bank checking account.
Free?
Absolutely free. No monthly maintenance charges, no per-check charges, nothing.
I can write all the checks I want at no cost?
The only charge you'll get is out of Apple Bank's fine service, and we'll pay you 5.25% interest on balances of $700 or more.
Apple Bank for Savings. We're good for you.
Jane makes her parents very proud. She's on the honor roll and plans to go to college. Starred in her class's last play. She plays clarinet in the school orchestra. Yes, Jane knows about drugs. In a way, she's lucky. She knows better. Some people don't realize that marijuana and driving don't mix. But Jane's brother reminds her every day that some trips last forever.
Brought to you by the New York State Public High School Athletic Association.
We're back. Andy Krause has won all 10 face-offs. He faces off here, and we'll give you those stats in just a moment. They've been all Garden City, as you see.
Number 11.
23-2. Krause wins number 11. Larry Glens and Kerry Gluck, our colleagues on the commentary side. That one, Garden City throws away one of the few things they haven't done well this afternoon.
Everything else has gone just the way Doc Doherty would like it for Garden City so far, Barry. They've done everything right and nothing wrong except for that first bad pass we've seen.
They jumped in front early on the scoring. They've gotten balanced scoring. They scored 2 goals in the first minute and a half of play. The closest that this Fairport club has been 2-1, and then it's been all Garden City from that point, leading it 7-2 right now. What is Fairport going to have to do, Larry Glens, to try to change the momentum, change the tempo around? What do they have to do better here?
I think they got to push the ball. That's supposed to be their game. They got to throw the ball upfield as fast as they can and score in unsettled situations.
Look at the ride by the long pole midi unit actually in there. They've got Ted Shirley in there, 34, 15, also helping out on the unit there, as they do an excellent job in that case. And a scramble for that loose ball. Fairport's got to come up with these ground balls, something, Kerry, they weren't able to do very effectively.
Yeah, they've got to come up with the ground balls. They've got to control the ball more. They've also got to make better passes, and I think that's the key right now for Fairport.
Koch will not catch Melchione, who has just outstanding speed, helping to help clear here. Leader, number 40, Greg Leader, real surprise, really has come on.
Nice look.
Beautiful pass.
Melchione giving that
long
pass.
sticks move the ball, huh?
Here's McMahon, the bounce shot that has given the little goalie some trouble. Now, you got a 5'8" goalie. They've been bouncing the ball quite often. Usually a smaller goalie will handle that shot better, maybe have trouble with the high shots.
Well, the ball may be bouncing a little bit differently here on the AstroTurf, Barry, than what he may be accustomed to. But we saw the goalie, Mike Matkowski, make the pass right into the Garden City stick to keep the ball back for Garden City. And again, those are the mistakes that they can't make. They've been making it, throwing the bad ball.
Looks like Fairport is going to double the ball once it goes behind now. I think they realize that they're going to have to make things happen and create broken situations on their own.
Good point. Mike Doyle got that shot off. It was blocked. They had backer support. There's a look at the little goalie, Matkowski, who has done an excellent job all year coming into this game. A 68% save percentage at 101 goals scored against
it's a double.
They are doubling again, doubling the ball, and it forces a bad pass. Let's see if Koch can come up with it. 34 in red. Scrambled around and raked back in by Melchione. And the big stick comes up with it. Number 39, John Winship, the outstanding sophomore, taken away by Krause. He's got 2 men ahead of him. Let's see what he does here as they move toward the goal. Krause will do it himself. And a shot taken and a good stop by little goalie Matkowski.
And we have a flag down too, Barry. We'll have a penalty.
Now, Krause had a couple of players with him on that play, decided to take it himself, and the goalie did make a stop. But Andy has great vision. Although he doesn't have that many assists, he sees the whole field.
Yeah, he has eyes in the back of his head, as is evidenced by the face-off. He knows where his wings are when he's not even looking at them.
You can see Garden City opening up the lead with the second quarter scoring. Sullivan, Krause, and Duran. Balance has been the story here. Here they are with 7 goals. Krause, who has so many of their goals, has only 1.
Right, and as you said, that just shows you shows what a great complete team they are. And now they're man up for 1 minute, and another good opportunity for Garden City.
All right, let's work as they work it around. They did score, I believe, on a man up opportunity earlier. Matkowski comes up with it, has trouble clearing it.
And the Garden City ride has also been creating problems too, Barry. Not, you know, one of the things we've been saying is that the Fairport passing hasn't been on the money, but I think they've been under a lot of pressure too by the Garden City attack in midfield.
Again, you have speed and good sticks. That's going to happen. And they pick off the loose pass here. Kraus comes back. Kraus can go either righty or lefty. Outstanding football player along with Tully and Griffith on that conference championship football team. Here's Finity, the bounce shot scored. Finity has done it again with another bounce shot, and that's been giving the young goalie all kinds of problems today.
Yeah, the bounce shots have created a lot of problems for Mike Matkowski. And again, the unheralded players are coming through for Garden City. And here we'll try and catch the replay. Remember, the Garden City is still man up, and here we see the bounce shot being taken. Good bounce shot by Rob Finity, beats Matkowski. And now again another face-off, and Andy Kraus has been in control, no doubt, the whole game on the face-offs.
Finity's first goal, it's his 16th of the year for the Speedy Junior. And again another one. My oh my, total domination. Back comes Tully, he's scored a couple and stopped by the goalie Matkowski. Fairport trailing 8-2. This for the New York State Large School Class A championship game. That last goal, man up Finity at 2:59 for Garden City to make it 8-2. It's a red flag against Garden City. No, it's going to be.
Yeah, it'll be against Garden City. I think they're going to call a late hit, Barry, on Andy Kraus. I believe that's who's going to go serve the penalty. So we'll see Fairport will be man up for a full minute.
And they need a goal here. Randy Garrett's club, his 7th year coaching. He was a star at Ithaca College. 4 years head coach at Webster before taking over at Fairport. You know, Fairport located in a real hotbed of lacrosse. That Rochester area with Hobart not far away carry a very big hotbed of lacrosse, as well as Syracuse in the upstate area.
They get to see some real good lacrosse. Cortland certainly is a fine team. Hobart, and you can't certainly forget Syracuse. Ithaca College all have fine athletic and lacrosse programs.
Sudan coming in from the midfield, got the pass from Young, but he missed the cage. Young was backing. Those are the guys that are going to have to get him back in this game. Those are the key big guys. They're All-American last year and won this year. Taken away, but he's taken back. They try to control the ball, having trouble there.
They try to find a seam in that zone, but there's nothing there. Those defensive sticks are right on the ball.
And they're closing right down. They're offering pressure all over the ball. And that's been, I think, the key to Garden City. They've been pressuring, coming up with the loose balls and not giving any room to Fairport.
Well, I think it's that defense that has improved dramatically. That was a big question mark of Doc Doherty. They lost all their key people from last year. It really has blossomed, and that may be the difference why this club is where they are right now. Along with Kenny Mangano. Here's Koch outside, still a man up. Young just lost it. And here's Greg Leader. He's checked. And the ball picked up by number 10, Jacques Monty. Doesn't see much time, Monty, except for those faceoffs, and he's been badly beaten today on those. Penalty is over, as coming back on is Tully, who scored a couple of goals, 22. He was serving the penalty, and look at him hustle after that. Checked out of his stick, lost the ball, and goes back over to the Fairport Red Raiders.
I think Tully coming off of the out of the box when the penalty expired was a little surprise to Fairport. They were trying to have the ball just go out of bounds.
Incredibly, look at the shots. Frank Cortale recording him 27-3 to favor of Garden City. Hard to believe that this would happen in a championship game.
Yeah, it is. It's really hard, but I think you know, Fairport's had a tough couple of days. They've had a tough couple of games, and Garden City is really ready for this one, and they've wanted this one, I think, since last year.
Well, they tasted it after that loss. Sudan shot, used the left hand, stopped, battle in front there, loose ball situation, a lot of pushing and shoving going on, and we've got a penalty call. Push without possession, and the ball will go over, back over to the youngsters from upstate.
That was a good call by the official. There certainly was a little pushing going on in front of the cage, and justifiably Garden City did the right thing. You don't want to give up a cheap goal, so they just wanted to clear out the area with the loose ball and the ball on the ground.
Well, a defense not known for being flashy has done an excellent job all year, but they're having trouble with Garden City so far today. Look at Melchione as he battles Sudan, and what a job he's done, except that one goal that Sudan scored. Melchione has totally dominated. Sullivan, bounce pass. Here's Melchione moving in. And he stopped. Good shot. Good
It was a
save.
good shot.
That was a great shot by Melchione. Even a bounce shot, you'll notice.
With
He
a
didn't
long
take it
pole,
high.
it's not easy to get that kind of shot off.
And again, it's not the first time we've seen those long sticks get in on the offense as we watch the replay. And here's the push. You see the defenseman clearing out. And that shows you some of the hard hitting that's going on for Garden City.
4:39 to go. Third quarter. Garden City in total command, 8-2 over Fairport. And you guys, of course, had alluded to the tough couple of days. In case you are just tuning in and not aware of it, we'll tell you the story again when we have a moment. Fairport trying to play with such tragedy in their background. Of course, 4 players, actually 3 football players and another student were on their way to watch them play. Henninger High School in the Syracuse area. There was an accident, a head-on collision. 4 people were killed. The team was following that car. Many of the players were on the scene along with the coach when it happened. They had to go on and play. Henninger, they trailed in that game 4-0 at the half, 5-2, and incredibly rallied to come away with the victory.
Red ball.
A heroic comeback, certainly. And a lot of times when you do that, you're able to rise to the occasion after a death or some tragic incident immediately. The adrenaline pumps. Then it sets in the next day, and there's a deep depression, and it's tough to get back.
I'm sure they were playing Henninger on the sheer emotion. At first, I think there probably was some shock, at least, as to what happened. And, of course, that's created their deficit of 4-0 and 5-2. And then I'm sure they were playing on just emotion to beat them in the second half.
Well, they're trying to create some situations here to come up with a loose ball. They do have it. Nice play there by number 40, Kyle Miller in the midfield.
40, Kyle Miller.
And an offside is going to be called, I believe.
But Barry, you look at the Garden City players, they were all over Kyle Miller. They were just all over him, and they're pressuring the ball wherever the Fairport players are. They're pressuring the ball, and that's got to be frustrating for Fairport and creating problems.
A lot of those fans are enjoying it. A lot of the folks from Garden City community have come out to support their club, the local club here in Long Island. And they're winning by a score of 8-2, and they've totally dominated from the outset. We'll have a man up, actually 2 men in the box for both clubs. 1 for each club. Apparently we have a penalty. We're going to check out the numbers out there, fellas.
Well, they're playing all even right now. Then it's 5 aside.
For each club down a man, so offsetting penalties, so to speak.
And now Fairport gets it into the box, so they'll be on the man up.
All right, let's watch what happens here. Sudan, 25, who's been stifled so far today by Melchione. That zone defense. Melchione, 33, playing on top in that zone. Here's Koch behind. Swing it out to side. Here's Sudan moving in. Good shot. Oh, and an even better save by Mangano. And the rebound scores in. So Sudan, stuffed on the initial shot, scores his second goal of the game. And it's now 8-3 on the man-up goal.
Credit to the 2 players. Mangano made a great save on the first shot. And then, of course, you got to give Sudan a lot of credit. He hustled and got himself the rebound and took the second shot to put it in. And there you see, there's the rebound, the first shot, and then Sudan just puts it in over Mangano's shoulder for the second shot and the goal. But it was really a nice play by both players, Mangano and Sudan from Fairport.
They're going to let Sudan face off against Krause now.
That'll be interesting because Monty just couldn't do it. Face off, well, you see it 12-0. Now make it 13-0, fellas. As Krause had an easier time then. I was going to say even easier time before I could get the marbles out of my mouth. Here's Cavoti behind.
I could see the strategy of Fairport, though. Sudan wants to change things around. He's their top player. They're going to let him try to do it.
Sullivan over to Cavoti. Cavoti moving out. Checked by 36, Dave Nelson. Well, they'll swing it back out to the top. Krause cutting toward the middle as Tully, who has scored twice, is checked by Sudan. Sudan battling on the turf for that ball.
That was a nice check by Sudan, by the way, on Tully, as Tully was sweeping to his right. And they still have a loose ball. There it goes. Finally pops out, and the defenseman in good position to be in the hole and cut off any possible fast break.
And finally, they come up with it. That's Griffith, 20. Ooh, he's hit. And we're going to have a penalty as one of the Red Raiders goes down. He's hurt. That'll stop play, and he is in some pain there. Don't know what the number is, so we're going to try to pick it up as he as quickly has his helmet off. Looks to be number in the 40s there, 46, Craig Fox. Let's see if we can spot it on the replay, gentlemen.
Well, there's so much on the loose ball. Here's where he comes up with the ball, makes a hit, and I think
it is Craig Fox, 46.
I think he went down on the follow through with the shot, might have hit him in the leg.
Fox is 6'1", 210-pound junior, known as the enforcer in the midfield. 17 goals. And Dr. Carl Friedman checking him out. Let's take a look while we have, gentlemen, at the State A poll. And, of course, the winner of this will undoubtedly be #1. You can see Garden City ranked #1. Ward Melville, the team that lost to them by a goal here at the Hofstra Stadium last week, #2. Yorktown, they lost to Garden City the other night here. They're #3. Henninger was #4. West Jenny #5. And this Fairport club, a little bit unheralded, way down in the #7 spot. Calhoun, West Islip, and Lakeland round out the top 10. But that Ward Melville club, an outstanding club, Kerry. You saw them so often during the year. And Joe Cuzo's club just simply couldn't do it against this Garden City team.
No, they were just an excellent team, and they played an excellent game against Garden City. And as Joe and I spoke with Joe right after the game, and it was just so unfortunate because they really felt that they deserved to win. And the ironic thing was last year when they played Garden City, they really were outplayed. And Joe said they didn't deserve to win that game. But this game, they really did deserve to win.
Let's take another look at how Craig Fox got injured, #46. Keep an eye on him. He really makes a check, goes down, and that leg just gives on this turf here. And it looks to be a leg injury, although they are working on his stomach area, too.
Yes, they are. He should be back, I'm sure. It's probably a minor injury, we hope, and he'll be back in a second.
Carl Reuter with the fancy white pants and blue shirt on the scene there, checking things out, along with Dr. Carl Friedman. Dr. Friedman has done quite a job. He's been busy. We've had several injuries during the playoffs. He's a fine internist and also a good friend. And as they work over the young man, Larry Glenn's, it's been an outstanding year for lacrosse on Long Island, and I know that you had an outstanding player, a young man who'll be going to Johns Hopkins next year, Quinn Kesenick. And maybe you want to say a word or two about him.
Yeah, Quinn right now is down in Baltimore. He's playing in the Lacrosse International, where they take some of the outstanding players from all over the country. And he's playing on our Homewood field.
Okay, Larry Glenn's, coach of Lynbrook, will be back in just a moment with a score. Garden City 8 and the visitors from Fairport 3. We have a timeout on the field. We'll be right back. You're watching Championship High School Lacrosse on Cablevision.
Today's game is being taken.
How expensive is your free checking? You're looking at checking that's really free. That's right. Here at Apple Bank, there are no check charges and no monthly fees, nothing. Plus, you get 5.25% interest on any balance over $700. So come in and get the free checking that you and your money deserve.
Apple Bank for Savings. We're good for you.
I never ran before I came to Adelphi. Now I can't imagine not doing it. It really helps having the kind of encouragement I've gotten here. It makes Adelphi feel like a small college. But I'm glad it's a big university with lots of courses and career options, because I'm making choices that will affect my whole life. I'm excited about my future. In fact, sometimes I can't wait to graduate. It's sort of like running. Once you get started, you want to see how far you can go.
Adelphi University, where the advantages of a major university and a small college meet.
Craig Fox is on the sideline being attended to, and Dr. Friedman working on him there, as we'll have the face-off here. His play was stopped. Monty, #10, and Kraus, #21. Kraus has totally dominated every face-off we've had, of course, after each goal and after each quarter. And having a little trouble winning this one here. And he rakes the ball back out after a little bit of a delay. And that ball squirts across midfield, and Kraus will pick it up. So playing in his final game on Long Island as a high school star, Kraus gives it up now. He goes off. Finity replaces him, and Doyle on the second unit has it, #25.
I've never seen a guy who could do so many things off a face-off and do it against anybody he goes against.
Just a remarkable, and he's such a nice young man, an outstanding student. They call him the Red Rat. And he is very popular with his teammates. He's been our Apple Bank player of the game often this year.
Isn't Tully called also just the Rat?
They've got a lot of names for some of the guys. Here's Sullivan moving in. They handle it so well. Finity to Cavoti. Overthrows the crease attackman. He was looking for James Del Olio. And look at Sullivan hustle that down. Keep it in.
That was excellent hustle by Chris Sullivan, and it shows his speed. He caught up with that ball, never gave up on it. On the AstroTurf, the ball really moves. He never gave up on it.
Larry Glenn's, the game has really changed somewhat because of the speed of the players right now that are playing this game in lacrosse.
Yeah, I think so, but I think really it's the stick work that's really more important. There's always been fast boys, but there hasn't always been people who can handle the ball like this team is.
And Garden City is showing that they certainly want it. They lost to West Jenny, blown out last year, really 10-3 in the state championship game, and now before the home fans on Long Island, trying to bring a Long Island championship back to the island for the first time since 1979 when Seicha won it. Representing Suffolk County, Sedan. Oh, what a shot that was. Boy, did he get that off. What risk to get that shot off. And I don't think Mangano moved at all on that one. It's now an 8-4 game. And don't go away. 31 seconds to go. Remember this, Fairport club came from behind to beat Henninger.
That was an excellent shot by Timmy Sudan as we catch it on the replay. Here he has the ball, passing the ball. He drives to his right here, and goes over the top. And you're right, Mangano hardly reacted to the shot. Sudan got a lot of power behind that shot, and they say he's got the hardest shot on the team, and I think he showed it to us right there.
Second goal of the game for the young man who'll be going to University of Massachusetts. He had 7 goals in one game, but here's Krause winning it. The pass again, eluding Dell'Olio, as they're not as crisp on that passing as they were, as he was open there had they gotten the ball to him.
Yeah, but I think also Andy Krause, after feeding the ball off, continued his run down the middle of the field and might have gotten in the way or distracted Dell'Olio, because the two of them almost collided. But it was a nice play off the fast break, and I think Andy Krause said, man, they just scored a goal. I want to get one back. And that's what I think was the situation.
Very important possession here. 18 seconds to go for Fairport. They're down by 4 now. They trail by as many as 6. And they've got it. Here's Young moving in. Cook, or rather Koch. Oh, what a move he made on the goalie. Brought Mangano out. And Fairport has done it again, coming back with 2 quick goals. 6 seconds left. And Krause may wonder now, maybe I should have held on to that ball, and maybe we shouldn't have shot so quickly or made that pass, because suddenly what looked like an easy Garden City lead after that delay, after the injury, Fairport has come storming back for 2 quick goals. And we look at the goal here, scored by Jeff Koch.
There you'll see Jeff Koch when he comes up with the ball. Here he goes. He'll take on 2 defenders right here. He'll roll right between them, and the 2 defenders go down. Mangano is out, and once again, Mangano or any goalkeeper is out that far. The attackman should put it by him, and of course he did. And we've seen Fairport score 2 quick ones, and that's the game that they were trying to get in, I think, earlier, to try and get into the transition game and the broken situations and not let Garden City hold the ball.
So that'll do it. After 3, we've got a game now in our hands. It's 8-5 Garden City over Fairport, the New York State Class A Championship. We'll be right back. You're watching Championship Lacrosse on Cablevision. Hi, everybody. I'm Barry Landers with Jerry McDougall, president of Apple Bank. Jerry's been a great year for the Long Island Sports Network and a great year for Apple Bank. 5 locations on Long Island. Where are they in Nassau County?
We're on Northern Boulevard in Manhasset, Carmen's Road in Massapequa, and on Jericho Turnpike in Syosset.
And how about Suffolk?
In Suffolk, we're on Pulaski Road in Green Lawn, and in Smithtown, we're located on Route 111 near Jericho Turnpike.
Apple Bank for Savings with 5 convenient locations.
Come to Olympic Den Sporting Goods, suppliers of the Villanova Wildcats lacrosse team. Olympic Den carries a full line of uniforms, brine equipment, and custom sticks in all school colors. Located in Elmont. Call 437-0095. Take your next shot with Olympic Den.
We're back. Let's go now to Carl Reuter down to the field, get a report on the injured Craig Fox.
Thanks very much, Barry. Craig Fox, you can see he's being worked on the sideline by trainer Larry Resnick. Dr. Carl Friedman has looked at him. It's a lateral ligament. He heard it snap. It's a pre-existing injury, and according to Dr. Friedman, it's a football injury. He's being iced up right now. They're going to sit with him about 10 minutes. He's getting his knee propped up, as you can see right now, by trainer Resnick. I don't know if he'll come back in, but I'll tell you one thing, an inspired Fairport team, they're on their way back. And if they get Fox back in, they might come all the way back. Barry?
Here's Garden City. Krause had it checked as he tried to get the shot off. They hustled the middies to come up with that one, as Krause did not win it cleanly. But Garden City's got to be patient here. They've got the lead, Larry, and they've got to have good shot selection.
Garden City's a very tough team to come from behind on, because they always have the ball with that face-off.
That's an excellent point. And right now they can't really sit on a lead, although 3 goals with 10 minutes to play is a nice lead. It's certainly against the club the caliber of Fairport and the kind of attack that they have. Certainly not an insurmountable lead, Carey.
No, it's not. And I think Garden City has got to be careful. They might have gotten a little complacent before, thinking that well, the game was out of reach and you know, it's easy for us. And now they're back in the match, and if Fairport can come up with a quick goal or two, it's a whole new ball game.
Well, we're starting to see Sedan dominate a little bit. He had been held in check, has 2 goals, had 2 in that quarter. And the shot by Tully stopped nicely as they try to clear it quickly and start a fast break. Goes out of bounds, and it'll be Garden City ball as Fairport's Todd Kane couldn't hold it.
And this is just what we're talking about it again. Garden City is a possession team, and once they have possession, it's tough for you to get the ball back.
Well, you can see Fairport coming back with 3 unanswered goals after Garden City jumped in front 8-2, as Sedan scored a couple. And then, of course, they got that big goal, the closing moments, as Koch got it at 9:54 to make it 8-5. So they're in the almost identical situation they were in against Henniger, down by 3 with about 9 minutes to go.
Yes, that's right. And can the emotion carry them through on this game? You know, that we'll have to see. But it still is a ball game. 3 goals is not a whole lot of goals in a 10-minute span.
And the next goal could be a crucial one for either club, obviously. Garden City would open up a 4-goal lead. Now they work with that second unit. Here's McMahon, who's gotten one already. He'll bounce and get another one.
Nice roll dodge. Nice roll dodge by McMahon. He did a great job on that. Jay McMahon scoring his 2nd goal, a 3rd goal of the game for Garden City, gives them the 4-goal lead, a little bit more of a cushion again, and takes a little bit of the steam out of the sails of Fairport. And we'll see McMahon. Here he has the ball and takes the shot, and it's a nice bounce shot again. And Mike Matkowski's had his problems with it on the second angle. He's had his problems on those bounce shots, as we see. Again, McMahon puts it by him.
Well, he rolled away from number 27, Ken Carson, beautifully there. McMahon's 33rd goal of the year. You're going to have to face this guy maybe again next year, Larry. A lot of clubs are not envious of facing Mr. McMahon. As we said, the heir apparent to Krause.
Sedan won a face-off.
Sedan won a face-off, but they intercepted alertly. Malchione read that play beautifully. And here they come. Garden City, a goal here could maybe sew it up. Cavodi, look in front, score!
Beautiful
Sullivan.
fast break. Beautiful fast break. They worked it like it should be, picture perfect. The passes were right there, and we saw Chris Sullivan get the goal for Garden City. Fairport's going timeout. They want to get things settled down again. They were within 3. Now it's back to 5. They're trailing 10-5, and Garden City's got the momentum that they had lost just briefly at the end of the 3rd period, Barry.
They can smell it, and they smell it because of this goal right here.
And it's a great goal again. We see the beautiful passing. There's the pass from Cavodi to Sullivan in tight, and he's got the goal. And that's Garden City's game, the transition game, the fast break game. And off of the fast break with Andy Krause, that can happen anytime. Beautiful pass work by Garden City. And they look like they're going to be the champions, and they're playing like champions.
They are indeed. Tully made the initial pass, and then the beautiful pass here. Sullivan, all he had to do was put it in, and like a good attackman, he made sure of that one. His 2nd goal of the game, his 4th in the last 2 games, so he's come alive against Yorktown and against Fairport. Garden City with a 5-goal lead, 8:07 to go. And Larry Glenn's, we were talking about some of the best teams are going to be tough again next year because some of the best junior players are going to be back for their respective clubs. And look at Garden City. Fairport won the only face-off they won just moments before, and still Garden City scored.
How ironic. They win their first face-off, and Garden City comes back on the fast break.
What you mentioned, Barry, about some of the finest teams having most of their players back, that seems to be true. Garden City's got an enormous amount of players back. So does Elmont, that we saw earlier. We have a good deal of players back over at Lynbrook, and I see that seems to be the case all over the county. I think it's just the sophomore and junior classes are loaded with good lacrosse players throughout our county.
Well, great teams. Let's watch the face-off again. Frank Cortelli reminds me that great teams aren't great all the time, only when they have to be. And Mr. Krause has it again.
How philosophical, Frank.
And he'll just put the icing on the cake. Matkowski bats the ball in frustration away. And Andy Krause gets number 2. The explosiveness of Garden City and their winning of the face-offs just so important in this game of lacrosse.
And it just seems when Andy Krause wants a goal, he's going to get it. He's going to win that face-off. He's going to scoop it up, and he's going to take it to the cage, and he's going to take the good shot and put the goal in the ball in the goal. Well, let's watch it right from the face-off. Here's Krause. Here's a little bit of a rake to the side. He scoops it up, and now he's on track, and he's going right to the goal all the way. And he'll take a nice bounce shot. Again, bang, right behind Matkowski, and Matkowski hasn't stopped many of those shots all day long.
Bounce shot has really plagued him. As we're down now to 7:50 to go, Garden City with 3 unanswered goals in a short span to break it open to 11-5. This equals their biggest lead of the game. They led 7-1, and now 11-5. Delayed flag, and now the call will be made.
We have offsides call. It should be on both teams, but whoever went off first might be penalized.
Well, Garden City now just 7.5 minutes away. 3 goals in 29 seconds as we look at the last goal by Krause that made it 11-5.
Here he is coming right at you. You just make believe you're Matkowski. Here's Krause coming to you, and you can see him getting ready to take his shot on stride, and Matkowski gets the stick down just a little bit too late to stop the shot.
I'd like to compliment our crew all year. This is our final telecast of our 10-month season. Bob DePoto, producer, director, and the camera people, just outstanding job. And I think if you are a lacrosse fan, and that camera shot that we've given you from behind the goal, Larry Glenn, you might agree, is just a super shot, especially on the replay. You see how the goals really develop.
Outstanding. I tell you, I wish we could have all our games done by Cablevision. It'd be the easiest scouting tool we've ever had.
Here's Cavodi out in front, wide, as the man was checked into the crease, pushed. And it will still be Garden City ball. Number 28 of Fairport pushing his man into the crease there.
And they are man up, Barry. Garden City is in the man up situation.
So the man up now gives Garden City a chance to add to their lead. 11-5 with 7:15 to go. Bouncer having trouble, and Del Olio bounced it right back toward Matkowski.
I don't think Jimmy Del Olio thought that he had enough time. He had time to be able to take that into his into the cross and take the shot.
Incredible statistic right there. 36-8. Man is out of the box. Finnerty drives it, and it goes out. So in spite of that huge total disparity, they still were able to score in 5 of their 8 shots that they've had. And Doc Daugherty close to win number 201 in his first state title. But that's an interesting figure that they scored on 5 of the 8 shots that they had and still were in the game.
That's a great shooting percentage. Great shooting percentage. I'm sure their coach, Randy Garrett, would love to have them taking more shots, keeping that percentage up.
All right, as we watch Cavodi beat his man. Score.
Beautiful. Did you see how he protected his stick? He just tucked that stick right in close to his body so the defenseman couldn't get a check in on it.
So the Fairport defense, Larry, that had given up only 5 goals a game, being burned 12 goals, and we still have 6:53 to go in the 4th quarter.
Garden City beats you so many ways. It's incredible. They beat you one-on-one when they want to, and otherwise they move the ball fast. Their passes are crisp. They beat you on face-offs, big checkers, and clear well on defense. They're just so complete.
Let's see if we can see Mickey Cavodi. He does a great job here. Here he has the ball. He goes one-on-one with his defenseman. Watch him tuck the stick right in here, and he takes the shot to the far post.
And to make matters worse, Krause, of course, will be gone next year, and he wins that one. He'll be doing that for Virginia next year. Ironically, he and Chris Wakely, the outstanding midi on Ward Melville, will be roommates next year at Virginia. So they're going to be a very strong club indeed, with a couple of Long Island players added to their team. But Long Island youngsters, as we see Malchione scoop it down the side, go out of bounds, have really done a great job in North Carolina. Tamillo and the likes of others that have helped North Carolina from Ward Melville and other schools here in the island.
I think certainly the Long Island lacrosse players have a reputation of being one of the finest lacrosse players in the country, and there's no doubt about it that the coaches from all over, from the South, from Virginia, and from North Carolina, they do a lot of recruiting up on Long Island because these players are highly respected.
Well, we'd like to see, selfishly, maybe some more of these kids stay home and play at Garden City, of course, at Adelphi and CW Post and St. John's and Hofstra, but a lot of the good ones do play here. Of course, here's Koch working behind. 12-5 Fairport, trailing by 7. 6 minutes now to go as Steve Young, tightly guarded, bounces one over Mangano's head. And they have a backer there, and they'll retain possession. You know, when you consider that Garden City lost the likes last year, gentlemen, of James Coster, who's a midfielder for North Carolina, the NCAA champion. They lost Paul Basile and Brian Sullivan playing at Navy. Peter Bennett, Jim Hannon, Mark Burchell, John Fuller, all at Hobart, the Division III champ. And here they are dominating in the state playoff. It is an incredible story and a tribute to the program, as you said, Larry, at Garden City, and to Doc and his coaching staff.
That's very true. No, you couldn't be happier for Doc right now, though. I think, Garden City was the class of the county last year. And when they got beat by West Genesee, I think he felt that he had to represent all Nassau County for us. And this time he's coming back and winning a big one.
Here's Cavoti being chased outside by the big stick over there. John Winship rides him out. And a good check there. Will give the ball back over to Fairport. But anyway, Fairport having a tough time psychologically as well as physically. They've just been outplayed by Garden City. I think they haven't been quick enough, and I think that quickness really has stood Garden City in good stead.
Well, I think that we're seeing the Garden City team really have one of its great days today. And if you have to have a great day, what better day to have it than when you're playing for the state championship? But they've done just everything right. Their passing has been just superb. Their rides have been excellent, and we're watching their ride right now. And Fairport has had some difficulty with it all day long. And
as Jeff Hebert brings it across, he's got an opportunity here. He's on that second midfield unit. He'll whip it behind to Koch.
That was a nice look. That was a nice feed, and the Fairport player should have had the opportunity, and that was Kyle Miller, who should have had that ball and taken the shot.
Now the defense trying to get involved here. Keith Valley, 42. Over to Kyle Miller, 40. That's Hebert, 30, sending it behind to Steve Young. Watched by Blair. Good move away from Melchione by Koch. Mangano got a piece of it.
Nice save by Kenny Mangano. He played that ball real well. And that's, I think you see the advantage. There was our left-handed goalkeeper, and it paid off for him there.
Here's Kraus dropping it off to Cavoti in front. Score for Tommy Duran. So the crease attackman gets his second goal of the game. They get it from everybody on this club. Doc Darty says, I like it. I like it fine. That's goal number 13. That's what they were averaging early in the year. But here in the playoffs, the last few games, it's been 6 or 7.
And this is Garden City's game, the transition game, the fast break game. And they find Duran on the wing in an open position. And there he takes a shot right over Matkowski. That was a high shot into the upper left-hand corner. And Matkowski couldn't quite come up with the save.
Garden City going to make a lot of changes here. They're putting in second stringers. Timmy Brown has checked in a defense along with number 36 Gavin Coleman, the junior defenseman. And the seniors, the starters get a big hand as they go to the bench. What a job. You got to compliment that defense. You see 35 Johnny Blair, Melchione 33, Greg Leader 40. The unsung defense. No one talked about the Garden City defense at the beginning of the year, and they have been a big story certainly late in the season and in the playoffs.
And it's going to be great to see Melchione back next year for Garden City with Greg Leader. They're going to be tough on D next year too.
Indeed, 2 of those fellas return. John Blair is a senior, and he'll be going to Villanova. We wish him well. Now Garden City makes more changes, and we'll try to keep you abreast of all the changes. The second midfield unit is in. McMahon's got it. Over to Doyle with 3:40 to go. Garden City with a commanding